Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Somebody in the comment section was telling me that my intro was getting a little too granola, so I tried to make it a little bit more throaty for you today. But here we go, guys. Is a coin shortage planned as a plot to kill cash? This tweeted out by Free Talk Live here on Twitter. And so a push for a cashless society, this with regards to Kroger. Kroger stops giving coin change as the beer flu drives the shortage. So this pandemic has significantly disrupted the supply chain and normal circulation patterns for US coins. This coming from the Federal Reserve. So Kroger is halting the use of coin change at its stores in response to a shortage caused by the beer flu pandemic. This reported by Fox 19 Cincinnati. The Federal Reserve said last month that the pandemic has significantly disrupted the supply chain and normal circulation patterns for US coins. What's happened is that with the partial closure of the economy, the flow of coins through the economy has it's kind of stopped. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said during a virtual hearing with the House Financial Services Committee on June 17th. So this was a statement from about a month ago. The places where you go to give your coins and get credit at the store and get cash, folding money, those have not been working. Stores have been closed. So the whole system has kind of had to come to a stop. Nevertheless, the Federal Reserve said in a statement that they are working with the U.S. Mint and Reserve banks to address the issue through a strategic allocation of coin inventories. Well, that's interesting and all. Sam I Am seems to have a different opinion on this. In a word, yes, they can't eliminate cash or force people to go cashless without severe backlash. So this is training them psychologically to not use it anymore. The whole thing is a lie. Little by little, we're starting to see new changes emerge as we make our way through this global pandemic, and this is just one of them. I'm touching on this because this is a cryptocurrency channel, and we talk about cashless payments and the benefits that Ripple could bring to the system. And so is this just another step for our governments to psychologically make us believe that we can live in a cashless system and we do not need cash any longer? It's interesting to say the least. Could it be a conspiracy? It's a possibility. Guys, this is Bitcoin on the hourly, and Bitcoin actually dropped significantly within the last hour, down to almost 8,900 again, back to 9,094. Now back up to 9,223. So that's Bitcoin. XRP right now trading up a bit at 0.199 cents. We got VeChain here on the hourly as well, bringing that up to about 0.018 cents, okay? So the crypto market, nothing new to report there. Essentially, on the daily, we're still seeing bullish flag patterns for VeChain and for XRP as well, if I'm not mistaken here. Yes, we're still seeing that bullish flag pattern here. An uptick, a possibility for the alts. Bitcoin, though, still hovering in this bizarre kind of limbo, okay, between 9,000 and 10,000 per BTC. This is the 9,000 range, bottoming out down here at about 89, topping out up here at the inter-year high of about 10,400. So Bitcoin still trading within that range. We've seen it now for more than 2 months. And a breakout is likely, but we don't know when. We're going to be at the mercy of either sellers or buyers. Guys, look at this volume over the last little while, okay? This is over the last about just over a month. Low volume compared to what we were seeing here, okay? After the crash, we were seeing lots of volume, then a recovery, another spike of volume over here, and then nothing but low trading volume for Bitcoin, particularly over the last month and a bit. But there's still eyes on altcoins, and a lot of people are still thinking that altcoins are going to thrive before we see anything happen with Bitcoin. So the data suggests to HODL, and this is with regards to Aetherium, but I'm going to get into altcoins in a second here. So Aetherium is trading at its highest since before the March beer flu crash, but data suggests that investors have little interest in holding the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap. Uploading findings used on-chain monitoring resource Glassnode on July 10th, one trader noticed that Aetherium exchange balances remain high while Bitcoin balances have dropped considerably. That is the point to note here. Why is that? So according to the verified data, since March, Ethereum balances on exchanges have continued to trend upward overall. So they're talking about the balance left on the exchange of Ethereum versus Bitcoin, okay? At the same time, BTC has been leaving exchanges en masse over the past 3 months. So ever since the Black Thursday crash is what they were calling this here, okay? Ever since the Black Thursday crash, Bitcoin balances on crypto exchanges have been falling quite fast. On the other hand, Ethereum exchange balances continue to remain relatively stable, the trader summarized. So the phenomenon could have several implications. Coins on exchanges are more vulnerable but quicker to trade, suggesting that owners store them there to sell at short notice. As Cointelegraph reported previously, BTC traders have shown a preference for saving in recent months rather than selling or trading. So what they're assuming is that Ethereum is staying on the exchanges if one decides to use it as a quick trading mechanism. As we know, Ethereum transactions go through quicker than Bitcoin. And what people are doing is saving their Bitcoin. They're stockpiling it. They're putting it in their Ledger Nano or what have you. I wanted to continue down here, though, with regards to the buzzword of the season, alt season here. Meanwhile, let me go down here. So meanwhile, talk of a new alt season, a period of growth and profitability in altcoins continues to gather pace. This from Peter Brandt, actually, the trading stalwart who eyed ETH gains over BTC this week. Most alts should gain on Bitcoin in the near future, he summarized. Zooming out beyond DeFi, major altcoins still remain at a fraction of their all-time highs from more than 2 years ago. So what he's saying is that, other than Ethereum, most altcoins, if you look at just alts, XLMUSD, let's bring that on XLMUSD. Let's bring it on where can we get a lot of, okay, let's see. Now that's 2018. Yeah, okay, that was the bull run of 2018. So XLM trading at a high of $1.05, right now trading at 0.09 cents. So what was that? Where is it trading percentage wise? And I'm using this for a reason here, guys. So 91.38% of its all-time high. We know XRP. Let's bring that up on the Poloniex exchange. I know Poloniex has got a lot of history. Okay, Poloniex, let's bring it up here. So what did we say for Stellar? It was 91%, XRP down 94%, give or take, or 94.37. Okay, TRX, USD. Let's just look at some random altcoins that we know were being talked about in the last bull run. I know they might not be so significant now. This is Tron, guys, down 94.98%, so almost 95, or rather, yeah, okay, let's call it 95.02%. So a lot of these alts down quite significantly, and this is what Peter Brandt is saying, whereas when you bring up Bitcoin and you look at Bitcoin's all-time highs versus where it's trading now, it's only down about 33.7% since its all-time high. Or no, 33, that doesn't make sense. Whoops. I have to scale out a little bit here. No, this is Bitcoin. This is the all-time high because Peter Brandt said over 50%. And here we go, 53.29%. That is the amount that Bitcoin needs to gain to get back up to its all-time high of about 20,000. So another argument in favor of an alt season, altcoins still have the room to rally. We got Michael at Val5 links here on Twitter. South Korean private sector members recently discussed a crypto-related taxation bill meant to establish capital gains tax for cryptocurrencies. So for those of you living in South Korea, or if you're a South Korean citizen, this news might be for you. South Korean private sector members recently discussed a crypto-related taxation bill meant to establish capital gains tax for cryptocurrencies. This is actually probably important for the rest of the world too, because once these countries decide to go a certain way with that, it is almost like setting a precedent for other countries to take note and to be like, this country's doing this. Maybe we should take a look at the same kind of laws. So during these discussions on July 13th, members indicated crypto gains taxes could rise as high as 20%. Cryptocurrencies could be considered goods. Okay, so this from the South Korean government, looking at it as a good rather than a currency. And so this is a quote from a judgment in South Korea. Until now, virtual assets have been recognized only as a function of currency and have not been subject to income tax. But recently, virtual assets like Bitcoin are increasingly being traded as goods with property value. Considering various conditions, such as the recognition of intangible assets with property value, the necessity of taxation, and the recognition of property value of virtual assets are being raised at the same time. So the article also states that crypto trading withholds capital gains tax for those who do not reside in the country. Figures from South Korean financial watchdog, the Financial Services Commission, show an average of 1.33 trillion won, which is equivalent to about 1.1 billion US dollars, were being traded per day using crypto. So interesting. They want to consider crypto as goods and not necessarily a currency. We are seeing this more and more. In terms of crypto, we are trading them like securities. We are not treating them as currencies at this moment. And so this is part of painting the bigger picture of which cryptos are meant to do what, how should they be regulated, how should they be looked at, are they a store of value, are they a utility coin? Because at the end of the day, the governments don't really care about the ins and outs, the nitty gritty. What they care about is getting their tax money from you. So an interesting update to say the least from South Korea. Thanks so much, Michael, for posting that. I've got more VeChain news here, guys. This from the Cryptic Poet. VeChain becomes founding member of the blockchain consortium of San Marino. So more strides in the right direction for the VeChain team. They've become a founding member of the first blockchain consortium of the Republic of San Marino to introduce the new technology in the country. With the consortium, the regulation as well as the adoption of the blockchain in the state shall be advanced. So VeChain signed a memorandum of understanding with DNVGL and several other partners last September to establish a sustainable blockchain-based ecosystem that will reduce CO2 emissions and protect the environment of the Republic of San Marino. The small republic has recognized that chances of the blockchain at an early stage and is researching possible applications in practice. So VeChain becoming a founding member of that. They're looking to promote the use and further development of the blockchain in the country. The founding members include the following people, and then it mentions who else is involved in this. And these guys also want to aim to promote a regulatory framework for adaptation in the blockchain space. Among other things, the regulation of already existing cryptocurrency exchanges is also on the agenda. So looking for more regulatory clarity in this particular sector of blockchain usage. The consortium's initiatives are designed to promote ideas and visions and to attract investors on an international level. Furthermore, the competitiveness of San Marino in the blockchain sector is to be further developed and promoted. Finally, the corporations with other institutions and the exploration of possible synergy effects shall be promoted. So the potential of VeChain, and this is what I think is interesting, has been recognized by many institutions, including Jackson Fu, who is the co-founder of Cream, an incubator for blockchain companies. He explained in detail why VeChain is one of the most valuable projects in the crypto industry. He is calling it one of the most valuable, guys. According to Fu, VeChain can solve several core problems in the industry which no other company from the crypto scene has been able to bring to production. So VeChain, obviously a great use case there. The coin surging, doing really, really well in terms of price action at this moment in time, just trading under 2 cents right now. And this is just another bullish pennant pattern forming here. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get into my position based on what's happening with VeChain. It almost seems like there's no rhyme or reason why it is doing what it's doing. I think I got to keep an eye on Bitcoin and wait and see. Nevertheless, VeChain making strides in the space, forging ahead for more blockchain usage within a context of supply chain management. We got another one here, guys, from Michael at Val5Links on Twitter. The UK Central Bank is discussing the possibility of launching a digital currency, according to its chief. So the UK, we know they are happy with Ripple technology, RippleNet. We know they understand the difference between a utility coin and a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. So there are differences there. And now they're looking at possibly launching their digital currency. So speaking during an online event, the Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey told a group of UK students on Monday its institution was having talks over the plan. Bailey said ongoing investigations would look at central bank digital currencies, which would have implications across payments and society. So it sounds as though they are looking not just for a institutionalized CBDC, but also a CBDC that can be used for the public. Calling it a very big issue, he anticipated that the CBDC could be a real possibility in several years once the beer flu has passed. Bailey's comments come at a time when more and more central banks globally are working at different levels on the idea of implementing a CBDC, either as a national digital currency for retail or for wholesale clearing and settlement between banks. So it gives us some other examples of some other banks doing the same thing, like in Sweden, and the Federal Reserve of Philadelphia also determined that CBDCs might one day replace the role of commercial banks. but most notably China, because they are the ones to keep an eye on. China, most notably, has already largely developed its digital yuan, which is in trials ahead of a likely live launch. So at the heels of China, of course, not just the United States eyeing this, the Bank of England making sure that they're prepared to do business on that level playing field as well. Guys, this one here from Reborn at Reborn13 on Twitter, discussing the connections here, or rather laying out some potential connections here between Project Ubin and Swift and AIIB, potentially using XRP for that transition. So we talked about this yesterday, how the Singapore Monetary, or rather the Monetary Authority of Singapore launched, or rather will be launching blockchain payments for international settlement. But here's a connection, and this brought up again by Reborn. Asia launches new reserve currency and move away from the US dollar dependence. That was the AIIB piece, and here's a dragon just setting fire to the US dollar. Now, we talked about Project Ubin yesterday, and we know HSBC obviously involved in that. They talk about digital cash. Over here, I don't know if you guys can see this, but there is there's the R3 logo over here, so we know XRP can settle through R3, HSBC, a Ripple partner as well. And guys, I did a video on this last year with regards to Swift, the HSBC connection, AIIB. I will link that video up here in the description if I can find it. Hopefully I can find it pretty easily. I will link it up here in the right-hand corner for those of you guys who wanted to refresh your memories on that, or maybe if you haven't seen it, to take a look at that one. But essentially what we're assuming here is we're moving away from the dollar system, moving towards gold again as the new standard for the economy, and all that liquidity will be eventually running through XRP. The beginning of quantum financial system before or by 2020, gold-based XRP, true liquidity as real-time settlement. And so he is suggesting this could be connected to Project Ubin, which we were just discussing yesterday. So great to see that from Reborn at ReB0RN13 on Twitter. Thanks for sharing that. Guys, another one here, this one from XRP Crypto Wolf, the Bank for International Settlements Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructure Stage 2 report to the G20, enhancing cross-border payments, building blocks of the global roadmap. So where are we in this? This is a project to bring G20 countries into the future for payments, and the PDF is actually linked down here, so you can look up that PDF for those of you guys interested in that. I'm just going to go through the three stages though right now. Assessment, building block stage, which is stage number 2. That is currently where we're in, July 2020. The Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructures has led the work on creating the building blocks of a response to improving the current global cross-border payment arrangements. These building blocks set out areas where further work could assist in moving to an improved cross-border payment system and removing unnecessary barriers. This report provides an update to the G20 FMCBG's meeting in July 2020. Well, the roadmap stage, which is stage 3, is the next one coming. Building on the previous stages, the FSB will coordinate with the CPMI and other relevant international organizations and standard-setting bodies on the development of the roadmap to pave the way forward. In particular, the FSB will report to the G20 on practical steps and indicative timeframes needed to do so. The 3-stage process will be submitted as a combined report to the G20 FMCBG's meeting in October 2020. So October 2020, that is the time frame that they're looking at here. Jake mentioning also that October of this year is also when the IMF and World Bank are having their annual meeting. Crypto Tato is asking, where is XRP in all this? Well, XRP Sparky 91011 mentions this. Bingo, the clock is ticking. I'm going to bring up this tweet here that he references. This with regards to AI, and AIM Finance selects Temenos SaaS to remotely deploy corporate banking solutions during this beer flu pandemic. So UAE-based corporate finance institutions select Temenos Infinity and Temenos Transact on Temenos SaaS to address surge in digital banking for SMEs during the beer flu and beyond. Temenos' front and back advanced AI and cloud technology will be remotely implemented to power rapid digital transformation. Temenos SaaS solution will replace AI and Finance's in-house system, simplify its digital business model, and drive operational efficiencies. So guys, I will leave this here. Temenos, this is big stuff. I don't know how long some of you guys have been in this space, but Temenos, this from 4 years ago, Temenos T24 core banking solution integrates integrates Ripple technology. Again, this is from 2016, so Temenos already integrated with Ripple, and if they're looking to onboard the G20 countries within the next few months, this could be really amazing for Ripple. XRP, especially if they're going to be using XRP for that liquidity flow between fiat currencies to process international payments. So, gotta thank everybody involved in this. XRP Crypto Wolf, Jake, thanks for pointing that out, and XRP Sparky 91011 here, reminding us about the Temenos connection and the fact that this is a big player in the space. I'm sure some of you guys don't even remember the Temenos stuff. For those of you guys who just entered the space within the last year or so, we haven't talked too much about Temenos, at least not on this channel, but it is a big piece to this cross-border transaction puzzle because it is Ripple enabled and because it will likely use XRP. Another one here, guys, from XRP Crypto Wolf. Ripple's ODL partner NEOM partnered with Visa to expand its card issuance service in Europe. So this just out a few hours ago. The white labeling card solution aims to help businesses drive cost efficiency and increase productivity. While the customer card segment has made great strides in customer offerings and experience, corporate card management has remained relatively the same, taking months to set up, register, and manufacture, only to be integrated to a legacy system with rigid capabilities. Further, the creation, management, and distribution of cards are typically done by various companies, resulting in a process that is not only cumbersome but also costly. Through this Visa partnership, NEOM will streamline and simplify the card management program for companies by consolidating all these processes to a single system, allowing business to gain more control while generating significant cost savings at the same time. So NEOM, a Ripple partner, Visa obviously signed that Earthport deal. Earthport runs on Ripple. So is this a move to get people on the blockchain? With the Visa partnership, NEOM is able to provide end-to-end issuing, processing, and onboarding services in a shorter time. Businesses using NEOM-issued corporate cards will be able to conduct real-time funds transfers to both physical and virtual Visa credit and debit cards, such as crediting payroll into Visa cards, enabling secure digital payments through tokenization for in-store online payments and at ATM points, unlock simple payment experiences for businesses and consumers around the world through multi-currency cards with multi-pocket wallet spending management features. Interesting. And the leaders of these companies are realizing this. You know, more payments are going online. Here's a quote here. While payments are moving online, a lot of corporate expenditures made by employees are still funded through company-issued cards. This is even more prevalent in Europe, where card payments are still dominant. We see the need to improve existing card systems used by companies. We had launched the same service in Australia and Singapore earlier this year and seen tremendous results. We look forward to working closely with Visa to realize our mission of improving business efficiency through the introduction and facilitation of financial technology. So that is from Gitesh Athvale, head of product cards at NEOM, a Ripple partner. So expanding card issuance, and eventually we're going to not even need a card anymore, but I think one step at a time. It's that back-end technology that really is going to make a difference, I think, for the efficiency for some of these companies. And eventually, you know, like Sam said, you know, once the people get used to the fact that cash will no longer exist, once we start getting used to new systems for paying, that is when I think a lot of these companies will feel more comfortable rolling out more cashless solutions, even though today we have the technology through RippleNet and XRP. And David Schwartz, guys, never sugarcoating it. What would you think he'd say if he wasn't involved with Ripple and he was asked, would you buy XRP? Well, he said that he most likely would. I saw this article originally, Mac Attack XRP brought this to my attention. A Ripple CTO says he would almost certainly buy XRP if he didn't have skin in the game. So we know he has skin in the game. So whatever he says is based on who he is, the fact that he's worked for Ripple, the fact that he created XRP, or rather helped create XRP. But he says if he didn't have skin in the game, he would almost certainly still buy XRP. In a series of recent tweets, Ripple CTO David Schwartz claims that he would almost certainly invest in XRP even if he wasn't the chief technologist of the blockchain company behind it. Schwartz reports that at one point he owned more than 40 different tokens and still holds some of them today. Now, I'm going to get to that tweet thread because I thought, let's just go straight to the source. He was talking here with Unstablecoin about smart contracts and how he wishes he had gone into that, basically saying that he would probably be building a tokenless smart contract system. David Schwartz also talks about XRP down here after Spuds XRP asks, while you are speculating, David Schwartz, if you was not involved with the company Ripple, knowing what you know, would you invest in XRP? And David Schwartz responds, almost certainly, I was a Bitcoin miner in 2011. I bought Ethereum in the first offering. I've held a number of ICO tokens and still hold some. I've probably owned at least 40 different tokens at one time or another. So he is saying almost certainly he would, if not involved with Ripple, if not involved in creating XRP, almost certainly would be holding XRP. Now, some people saying, you know what, he's not saying almost certain doesn't mean he would, or some people stating, well, he's not saying that it is necessarily a good investment or anything like that. So you're going to have some detractors, some naysayers, some negative Nancys in the space, speculating on what David Schwartz means by this. But, take it at face value, guys. He's saying, I probably would buy it. As we know, David Schwartz isn't a big investor type. He's more interested in the technology. So, take it for what it is. He's bought Bitcoin, he's bought Ethereum, he holds ICO tokens. Now, granted, he probably knows a lot of the people behind the companies who issued these ICO tokens, so he has more knowledge than you and I with regards to these ICO tokens, but he most certainly would indeed have bought XRP. You heard it here on Twitter. So is XRP a good investment? I still maintain the fact that we are going to see an exponential XRP rise in price once we see real-world utility. In the meantime, guys, we got to focus on what's straight ahead of us, and that is a spec bull run. With the price of Bitcoin either going up or down, where do you think the next move will be? And remember, Bitcoin still only at just about 50% of its all-time high, whereas altcoins, we're seeing a 90% retrace, even more than that in some cases. So even when Bitcoin goes up, guys, alts, including XRP, have a lot of room to move. Anyways, that's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.